Hello, welcome to the Wildcat Insider, your source for stories from grades 7, 8, and 9.
Pi Day is an annual celebration of the mathematical constant pi. Pi Day is observed on March 14th, since 3, 1, and 4 are the first three significant digits of pi. Aggie Lee shares how Greater Latrobe mathletes celebrate the day.
The main goal of celebrating Pi Day is to promote mathematics and obviously to celebrate the number pi, 3.14, March 14th, which also happens to be Albert Einstein's birthday. Two groups of students from Mathletes are actually running this whole day. One group is putting together a Connects roller coaster setup that you can actually run a Connects car on. There are different stations. One of them is a hula hoop contest because a hula hoop is a sort of Mr. Ludwig has offered to come in and sit at one of the stations and teach students how to do some basic origami. And it also happens to be his birthday, so we'll probably celebrate that. Pie in the Face Coin Challenge. We're putting a jar in every math teacher's classroom, and if you would like your favorite math teacher to get a pie in the face, just add all the coins that you have to that jar.
7th grade science students participated in a fun hands-on lesson by making cells out of candy. Here are Sydney Saper and Emily McKill with the story.
Right now in science, we are learning about the cell and we're learning about the parts of the cell. And so we have to build it out of candy, and then he's going to come around and we have to tell what each part of the cell is.
This project is about cells and the parts of cells.
And we learned all the parts of the cells and their functions.
The idea for creating a cell out of candy is not new. There's a lot of ideas out there making a cell out of a cake or out of candy or out of different models. So it's just a way of visually showing how the cell parts would look. And it's a fun way to do it, to learn about the different parts inside of a cell.
Congratulations to the Wildcat Rise winners.
As third quarter is wrapping up, here are some ways to stay motivated for the remainder of the school year.
Ways to stay motivated. Set short-term goals, remember long-term goals, and reward yourself for completed goals. Think of the big picture. Keep things that motivate you and stay positive.
If you are looking for something fun to do this weekend, be sure to check out the Senior High Musical.
Greater Latrobe's Senior High Drama Department is thrilled to be presenting Annie. Little Orphan Annie charms everyone's heart despite a next-to-nothing start in 1930s New York City. While living the hard-knock life at the orphanage, run by the embittered Miss Hannigan, Annie gets the opportunity to spend the holidays with billionaire Oliver Warbuck. Tickets are $15 for adults or $10 for students and senior citizens. Don't forget to bring a donation of pet food or supplies for Action for Animals in honor of the rescue dog who originated the role of Sandy. The cast hopes to see you there.
This week is National Shakespeare Week, so Sarah Thompson and Alexis Clay challenged students to a little Shakespeare hip-hop challenge.
Shakespeare or hip-hop. We give each student a lyric that is either from a Shakespeare play or a hip-hop song. They must guess which. Penitentiary chances, the devil dances, and eventually answers to the call of autumn.
Shakespeare.
To be honest, I feel like this is some hip-hop genre.
Hip-hop.
It's hip-hop, Gorgeous by Kanye West. Because the very thing I love is killing me and I can't conquer it.
Hip-hop.
Hip-hop.
Hip-hop. Lil Pump.
I think it's Shakespeare.
I think it's Lil Wayne.
It's hip-hop, Monster by Eminem. Give me my robe, put on my crown.
Hip-hop song.
Shakespeare. Hip-hop.
It's Shakespeare, Antony and Cleopatra. The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
Shakespeare!
Shakespeare.
I think it's Shakespeare.
It's Shakespeare, King Henry VI.
While we often associate the Girl Scouts with their delicious cookies, they are much more than that. With over 2.6 million members nationwide, the Girl Scouts is an organization that focuses on building girls of courage, confidence, and character, who make the world a better place. Samira Jackson and Katie Ulishny have the story.
In honor of Girl Scout Week, we asked a few students and teachers what their favorite Girl Scout cookie was.
Thin Mints.
Tag along.
Tag along.
The Toffee-tastics.
I love Thin Mints.
Samoa.
Thin Mint. For Mr. Kaiser,
Oreos.
now let's get down to the basics. What is a Girl Scout? A Girl Scout is a female member of an organization of girls that promotes character, outdoor activities, good citizenship, and service to others.
We think it's an amazing experience because we get to help people.
Lastly, how can you become a Girl Scout? Go to www.girlscout.org to find out more.
Last week, students had a chance to vote for Mr. Fenton's Truth or Dare segment. Here are the results.
Welcome back to Truth or Dare. Last episode, we had you vote for a Truth and Dare challenge for Mr. Fenton, and the results are in. For your Truth, the choice was Mr. Fenton's favorite student. The Dare with the most votes was Pie in the Face. We asked Mr. Fenton the following question.
Truth or Dare, Mr. Fenton?
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm not sure about this. I think that the students have done some tricky stuff to get Mr. Fenton in the face with a pie.
And with an unclear answer, we assumed Dare.
Where are my towels? I said get me towels.
Mr. Fenton also carried out the Truth part of the challenge.
Well, my truth is about my favorite student. Used to be Annie Duda and Lauren Jones, but since they pied me in the face, they're out. And I can tell you for sure it's nobody from period 8. Two of them, they're sisters. They're Victoria and Alexandria Potter. They're seniors now, and they were wonderful in my speech class. And every time I see them, they smile and say hello to me. So those two have to be my favorite students.
And his nominations for the next challenge.
I was thinking about it, and I just couldn't come to terms of selecting one. So I added them up, and there are two, Mrs. Mowry and Mr. Wilkins.
That's all for this week. See you next time on Truth or Dare.
Mr. Fenton isn't the only teacher willing to have some fun. Mr. McIntyre and Mr. Habercorn face off in this week's Cat Challenge.
We asked Mr. Hab and Mr. Matt to take on the challenge to see how many marshmallows they can fit into their mouth.
In sports news, the Greater Latrobe Junior High wrestling team sent 8 wrestlers to states and 3 came away with state medals. Jack Pletcher placed 3rd, Nate Roth placed 5th, and Gabe Golden placed 6th. The team placed 12th overall. Congratulations, boys.
The gyms were filled for the annual Icebreaker Soccer Tournament on March 3rd and 4th. Jamie Hof has the recap.
The Latrobe Icebreaker Tournament was held March 3rd and 4th at the high school. The boys played on Saturday, March 3rd. The junior high orange team played and made it to the playoffs.
The high school's black team made it to the semifinals, but due to a power outage, they were unable to go to finals and finish the game. The girls played on Sunday, March 4th. The junior high orange team made it to the finals and won. With that, the high school's black team made it to the playoffs, but unfortunately lost to Ligonier. However, the white team made it to the finals and became the champions.
The 7th and 8th grade girls volleyball team had an excellent season. Lexi Weatherton and Sophie had a chance to talk to some of the players.
The Greater Latrobe 7th and 8th grade girls volleyball team had a very successful season. The girls finished their season with a 9-1 record, with their only loss being to Penn Trafford. The girls also placed third at a volleyball tournament hosted by Penn Trafford.
My position is a setter, and my favorite memory from the team is when Bella hit me in the head when we were doing a hitting drill.
My favorite position is outside hitter.
And the hardest team we played was Hempfield, but we're undefeated.
My favorite memory in volleyball is whenever we were huddling together and celebrating every time that we won.
March Madness has hit across the nation. Will Burkhart asked students and staff for their predictions.
With March Madness already underway, I got the chance to ask a couple of students and teachers who they think will win the March Madness tournament.
I think Michigan State will win.
Duke.
UNC.
I think that the Villanova Wildcats will beat the Michigan State Spartans in the finals this year.
West Virginia University.
Villanova Wildcats.
Duke.
The Clemson Tigers.
This weekend we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Here are some facts about the holiday.
St. Patrick's Day is a holiday that is celebrated on March 17th. It celebrates the universal baptization of Ireland. It also celebrates and was named after a man called St. Patrick, who passed away on March 17th, 461. Leprechauns are old fairies that come from Irish folklore. Leprechauns are very devious and cunning. They partake in mischief and pastime by making shoes while hiding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Shamrocks, also known as clovers, are tiny green plants. Traditionally, a three-leaf one is used since the number 3 is Ireland's lucky number. Each of the leaves represents something: faith, hope, and love. They are symbols of Ireland and was used by St. Patrick.
Maybe you would like to make a St. Patrick's Day treat. Here's a simple recipe.
The ingredients you need are a cup of Jell-O, Lucky Charms, and whipped cream. First, open up the Jell-O. Second, open up the Lucky Charms. Third, open up the whipped cream and put it on top of the Jell-O. Finally, get some Lucky Charms and put it on top. Grab a spoon and enjoy.
While many of us enjoy our Lucky Charms as cereal, Conchetta, Constantine, and Laurel Suzuki asked students what their Lucky Charms in today's Cat Chat.
Our pets.
My shoe collection. My Beer Bradley hair tie.
Burger King foot lettuce. My favorite Lucky Charm is a Lucky Bandana. My favorite Lucky Charm is my jackets.
The Lucky Charm cereal is my Lucky Charm.
Harrison Milko is my Lucky Charm. Carrie Underwood.
Nicki Minaj.
I have a Lucky Charm that I use for fishing tournaments in my boat. Coincidentally, I have a picture of my old dog Lucky, who has passed away, but she went fishing with me all the time, so I use that picture as my Lucky Charm when I'm in bass tournaments.
Coach Smelling.
We end our show with this day in history.
On March 16, 1915, the Federal Trade Commission was organized. On March 16, 1926, a U.S. professor and scientist, Robert Hudson Goddard, launched the world's first liquid-fueled rocket. On March 16, 1964, Fats Waller records the Jitterbug Waltz. On March 16, 1969, the NHL team, the Boston Bruins, scores the league record of 8 goals in one period. On March 16, 1876, Nellie Saunders and Rose Harlan introduced women's boxing for the first time in history in New York City.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Wildcat Insider. We will see you on March 28th.